Okay. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, now we will have another session. So today it is an honor for us to have Dr.Om Rajbhandary. So far as I know, he is one of the largest real estate developers in Nepal. And he has developed a lot of projects like condominiums, low-rise residence, office buildings, and many others. So if you like to invest in Nepal, this is the right person for you to contact in Nepal. And Nepal is really beautiful. So I have known him for over 20 years, and he is very great and reliable developers in Nepal, so far as I know. So today I would like to let you meet Ms. Dr. Om Rajbhandary. But what we will talk, Kun Namtip, this lady will introduce to you his topic, please.
So after lunch, we'll meet Dr. Om Rajbhandary, Executive Chairman of Brihat Group, on the topic of behind the unreal real estate price in Kathmandu, Nepal. Everyone, please applause to him. Thank you.
So thank you very much. This afternoon session is going to be very boring because every one of us, we had a very delicious lunch. So I'd like to welcome this session, everyone. So first of all, let me thank you, Dr. Sapon, for the invitations to become a speaker for this gathering. I'm really feel honored, Dr. Sapon. And one thing I'd like to talk a little bit about Dr. Sapon is he's a very good friend of mine. I have been associated with Dr. Sapon for almost 2 decades, 20 years. So I was also one of the participants in this TREP school. Later on, in 2000, I became a board member of this Thai Real Estate School of Business. So Dr. Sapon's contributions to Nepal is very high. His guidance for the policy making as well as the real estate development research is extensively good. For last COVID, because of the COVID, he couldn't visit Nepal, but we are expecting his visit very soon. So let me begin with all distinguished guests, real estate friends and media friends. So my presentation about the unreal real estate prices in Nepal. So this is about myself. I'm Om Rajbhandary. I have been into the real estate development for last 3 decades. I have involved with so many other different institutions regarding the real estate, as well as my business and with philanthropy too. So these are some of my membership affiliations. That private sector, I was with the Minister of Industry. Same way I was with the Industrial Promotion Board and Kathmandu Valley Water Supply Management Board, International Convention Center, High Commission for Solving Problems of Apartment in Nepal with the government. And I was the Vice President for SAC Chamber of Commerce of Industries too. And I represent the Federation of Nepali Chamber of Commerce of Industry for 3 consecutive Executive Committee Board as an Executive Committee member, as well as the Urban Development Committee Chairperson. I was the National Team Member for the Habitat for Humanity too. So my session's synopsis in 3 parts. One is, why does real estate price in Kathmandu rise so fast? This will be very interesting sessions for everyone. The second one is identify the real value. And the third session is real estate market situations in 2022, 2023. So why does real estate price in Kathmandu rise so fast? This is the biggest question mark for everyone. Why? Real estate development process as such in Nepal is, if you see all the participants from different countries in this hall, the Nepal doesn't have that much of long history in the development of real estate. We do only the conventional. So it's a 25 years journey that we are into the planned urbanizations. So housing in real estate development process, if you see real estate development process in Nepal, housing is individual responsibility and it's predominantly by the owner's build. that everybody loves to build by themselves. And we don't have any social housing schemes. And housing is more than a commodity. So it is a symbol of status and an indicator of social security too, in case of Nepal. And the sources to fulfillment of housing units is only by the three players. One is the government, another is the individual, and third one is the private sector like us. So the government sector as such is, their role is as a facilitator and enabler, facilitated in land development, provision of basic services and regulatory mechanism. And third is introduce site and services program. And another, government has initiated the guided land development GLD program. The existing road width was increased along with the providing basic infrastructure facilities. This is what the government has been facilitator in this sector. And if you see with the individual sources, the people build as per their wish with least regard to the neighbor or existing environment. So it's like a on-plan haphazard. You see like in a metro city, it's concrete jungle. There is no uniformity in design or harmony in built environment, though the country as such and the Kathmandu city is so beautiful because of the on-plan urbanizations. Usually the foreigners, they come, they landed into the Kathmandu Valley and they usually travel to outside of Kathmandu. So its major responsibility is how to change the facade of Kathmandu Valley. Very difficult to impose design guidelines and standards of municipalities too. Physical infrastructure is often substandard for municipalities, and physical infrastructure or substandard. House construction is in an incremental. Maybe one house completion period may be around 5 years or 10 years. So when you start, the design will be something different. When you end up, when you completed that house, the house becomes a different shape. So from the taxation point of view, also proper valuation difficult and correct value is not desired. So thus government losses revenue too. And private sector, the third player, came forward with the different housing projects as per the need of time with the facilities. So government has also encouraged private sector for the delivery of dwelling units, organized urbanizations, gain support by the banks, mainly housing EMI loan, as well as for the developer, the loan too, project loan too. Organized real estate came into picture from year 2000 only. So it is of nearly about 25 years old in Kathmandu. So other real estate product like low-cost housing, town housing, group housing, senior living, rental housing products, demand and coverage, we make sure that there is a possibility to cater more people in this industry. So if you see the formal and informal process of housing, informal, you buy the land, you develop the infrastructure, you build the building, then you transfer the people. This is what the organized formal process of housing. So informal process, like in country like Nepal, we buy the land and immediately we start building. Temporarily, the building will be built and the people will transfer to that building. Then finally building will complete. After that only we go for the infrastructure. So this is quite interesting. Factors affecting housing development might be in every country, this might be the same. One is, it's very important, the factors is the government policy, and another is the housing market, demand and supply, and construction technology, that is materials as well as workmanship. If you see even into the Nepal's real estate development, earlier we used to have a 1-story, 2-story building, and the construction is made by the RBC, reinforced brick concrete. Earlier than that, it was like a load-bearing walls. So later on, RCC become very popular, reinforced cement concrete. Now these days, after the mega earthquake, now people start building by the structural steel too. So this is also very important aspect. And housing finance, land market, and physical and social infrastructures. These are the factors affecting housing developments. So another actor in housing development we feel that we are the only one actors, but it's not that. There are so many actors in housing development. One very important is banking and finance. Second one is as a developers. And third one is the builders. And fourth one, the consultants, landowners, households, government, and finally, real estate agents. So these are the actors in the housing developments. So these are the some points that planned housing and unplanned housing, individual sources, as well as the plan. Advantage of planned real estate. If you see, it's a licensed developers. So technical expertise and trained workforce. We plan and government approved plans and buildings, adequate water, adequate security, water plus solid waste management, firefighting facilities. So these are the basic things that we follow. And another is the social economic similarity is maintained because apartments are usually made in one project for the same eco-social target group. If you see with the on plan is none of the facilities and regulations for water security, waste management, and fire, etc. to be maintained in the on-plan sector. So on-plan housing does not have any social eco parameters, different eco social background, both low and high stays in the same vicinity. The urbanizations, if you see the urbanization scenario of Nepal, the urbanization rate of Nepal was 18.2% in the year of 2014 and has been gradually increasing at an average rate of 3% till 2018. But currently, there are 293 urban municipalities and 460 rural municipalities, totaling to 753 local level government within the country. This indicates increase in urban populations, politically based on population density only, but the infrastructure remain the same. The municipalities today have inadequate infrastructure for a city. So the urbanization rate of the world is around 60% in 2020, while Nepal's urbanization rate almost 50% despite insufficient urban infrastructure. So the concept of community living that was introduced in the year was there even into the Malla King's period. That was very long time back. But with the democratic revolution of 1990, Nepal got the exposure to the international arena through the media. Prior to that, there is nobody, only the government people only visits to the abroad. But after that, this 1990, people start going outside so they can able to understand what is the lifestyle of the Thai, what is the lifestyle in Japan, what is the lifestyle in other different countries. So great demand of well-planned housing with all necessary infrastructure. So the private sector took the responsibility. Organized real estate came into picture when there are 3 or 4 housing started venture in the year of 2001. So I am the one of the founder in promoting the community living concept in Nepal. So this community living was reinforced with the introductions of horizontal community living concept, but such housing were introduced in the outside of the valley. This was one of my projects, long time developed. It's nearly about 20 years back, 22 years back, we have developed this project in Kathmandu Valley itself. And this is a vertical community living because the word as such, apartment, people doesn't digest that much. So what we did is that the same community facility vertically. So we sell the concept of vertical living, though it is an apartment. So with the constraint of land in the capital and a steady acceptance for the community living housing projects, then vertical living came into the picture. So community living in apartment with all the facilities, necessary amenities, prime locations, the projects, such type of project has come up. So housing companies generally develop apartment project within the ring road, the central core area, and the villas develop outside of the ring road. So altogether, if you see with the recent updated these units, Kathmandu, Lalitpur, Bhaktapur is the Kathmandu Valley. So altogether, the housing units are 102 projects and apartments is near about 249. So altogether, the housing projects and apartment units, it's doing good, and the concept is selling these days. So housing companies generally erect apartment within the ring road core area of city, while standalone houses that require wider space are built outside the ring road, increasing number of customers by apartments as an investment rather than for a self-use. So especially it's for the long-term investment that the rental rate is high. People started purchasing the apartment units. Many buyers have been renting out the apartments. And to ensure growth of the housing business, developers need to encourage buyers to live in the apartment. Otherwise, the problem is that they own the apartment, but they are not paying because they are not staying. So it is not functioning properly. And the rules and regulations, if you don't pay your condo fee also, there is nothing that you can do. So this is very important for the developers to encourage the owners to stay or rent it out so that community runs as per the norms. And finally, even the Nepal also hit by the COVID-19, and the scenario of the real estate has been changed totally. And this is one of the messages that I received from one of my good friends, that thank you, developer, for giving us home in today's time. I find all assets are useless, money given on interest, shares, expensive cars, gold, silver, diamond, and jewelry, etc. are of no use. Only things which is useful today is our home. So I thank all the developers who have given such a wonderful gift to the community. So this is a very good notes for all the developers. And during the lockdown period also, my company, we did a survey, conduct a survey among like-minded of around 150 people residing in Kathmandu Valley to know the demand of house in this change scenario. So the main objective of the survey was to have an insights on experience of people staying at home and interactions with neighbors during this period. The main questions are the following: how was your experience staying home during COVID? And second one is, do you have plan to move from existing location? If yes, which locations do you prefer? What type of building would be comfortable for you to live in? And what will be your requirement for new home after COVID 2019 lockdown experience? How much land do you prefer for residence? What would be your budget for new home? And do you prefer building your own house or buying from developer or contractor? And finally, what type of payment plan do you prefer? So these are the 8 points. We did a survey with 150, and this was the result. The type of building: individual residence 61%, apartment 5%, housing colony 33%, and any of the above, they are comfortable with any of the decisions, that is 1%. So this is how the type of building. And preferable land area is also in terms of square feet. This is 1370 square feet is around 33%, 855 to, this is the minimal plot size in Nepal. And another is 1370 to 2746%. This is the medium type of plots. And same way, if you see the 2738 to 5414, above then that is 3%, and not defined is 5%. So preferred budget is below 10 million it's 6%, and 10 to 20 million was 54%. Maximum comes in this category. 20 to 40 million is 28%, and not defined 12%. This is in terms of Nepalese rupees. So if it convert that into 1 Nepalese rupees, 1 Thai baht is 3.36. So if you divide that by 3.36, then it comes the Thai value. And regarding the payment modalities also, regular installment self by themselves is 35%. Banking almost a 50%, 49% they prefer to go with the banking. And the 100% cash down, some of them have liquidated their own properties, so they have a cash. They want to put down all the 100% cash down and get discount. They are of 10%, and not defined is a 7%. So preferred locations also, it's of inside the valley, inside the Kathmandu core area or outside, and other area, these were the ratio. And regarding the building construction also, choice of construction is the self-bid by local contractor is still 35%. It's still high. And contractor bill, just only as a builder, if you appoint as a builder, then it is around 27%. And housing companies, 24%, whereas not defined is 48%. So the land price is skyrocketing in Kathmandu Valley. The major reason is during the COVID time, it was locked down. So nobody is allowed. If somebody comes from outside of place also. Yeah. So every people wants to have their own property. So that was the demand. And another is Nepal Rashtra Central Bank report this year shows that property value in the valley is increasing at 27.7% a year. So doubling the real estate value in every 3.5 years. And supply and demand also, if you see, before the pandemic, supplies were low due to a decade of underbuilding following the recession. So the supply and demand, why does real estate price in Kathmandu rise so fast is, one very important is the extensive home buying during the pandemic only fueled that shortage. So all inventory were sold out. And another is the supply demand imbalance is what pushed home prices more than 40% higher in just 2 years. So annual demand for house in Nepal is 140,000 units. 42% of the demand is only into the Kathmandu Valley. So the supply annually is about 25,000 only. So still there is a huge gap. Another is surplus cash during the COVID time. Post-COVID, lack of other development activities was completely stopped. So investment is only in the options of real estate. So surplus cash that was in the market was all infused into the real estate since it was the safe, easy to manage and yielding high returns. So low interest rate in banks post-COVID also to encourage business and activities. Government also subsidized and extended loans heavily. So bank also gave low interest rate in loans, and this all also led into the investment in real estate. So change in recent bylaws is also another factors that previous bylaws allowed use of FAR, that is floor area ratio, only up to a certain extent. But previously only categorized where residence or commercial, and FAR was generally 2.5 and 3 depending on the area of land. So new category has been introduced, that is a mixed use building has been introduced recently, which can utilize maximum FAR of 4.5. So recent bylaws change in the ratio so that the value of land is optimized in a vertical living. Identify the real estate value. If you see what will be the value of the real estate is must for all kinds of business, because in Nepal, if you don't mortgage, then the bank will not give you the loan. So for the mortgage also you need to have a property. So another hence also leading to overall high price of real estate. Undoubtedly, real estate is always in demand, owing to the population's growth, the requirement as well. And finally, right time to buy and develop property is now, since definitely opportunity to sell ready products for 23 will be there. Real estate market situations, if you see, that's the third one. For year 22-23, one is demand supply chain. Since the supply is less compared to demand, real estate market in Kathmandu will still be there. Buyers who were in wait and watch benches, now is the perfect time to wait and shop for the best properties available in the market. And future of the real estate in Nepal is surely bright, as all know. Only if all the concerned can weather season a bit further, all can come out stronger. And real estate market situations in 2023, as per the government budget announcement, the major highlights regarding the real estate as follows. Only registered companies to be allowed to operate the real estate business in metropolitan and sub-metropolitan cities, which has been already introduced in Nepal. And the second is the allowing foreign nations to buy apartments in Nepal has been addressed once again with the conditions that if an apartment projects is more than 100 units, then maximum 20 units can be sold to the foreign buyers. So government is also lease land for 50 years to establish export-oriented industries. All of this sounds very promising and shows the brighter side for the sector, but the issue lies in bringing out the working modalities too. With the energized local bodies and stricter government policy, we can only be hopeful that those issues will be addressed to ease all concern in the sector. So finally, real estate cannot be lost or stolen, nor can it be carried away. Purchased with common sense, paid for in full, and managed with reasonable care, it is about the safest investment in the world by the Franklin D. Roosevelt. Thank you very much. Any other questions, please, or during the networking time also, you can discuss with me. Thank you very much.